Welcome to Recovery Inspired Hope. I am so excited for this episode tonight. We have been planning this for a couple weeks. The snowstorm tried to stop us, but it could not. We are making it happen. I have my beautiful friend Alicia Shook on the show tonight, and we are going to be talking about her pathway, her being in recovery as a mom, and just Alicia and I knew each other from back in the day from when we were both in our using days. So we're going to be talking about just some interesting things. Alicia is so funny. She asked me earlier, yeah, we want to talk about the first time we met. And I was like, oh, you can talk about it because I don't remember. I have no idea how we met. So she's going to tell us all about that. And that will be a fun topic. And make sure you subscribe to Jamietalluto on YouTube. I'm so excited, guys. I have got over 1,020 subscribers. Oh my goodness. I finally hit my 1,000 mark. So, everything that comes from this goes back into recovery. So continue to watch, continue to share. Make sure you subscribe to Jamietalluto on YouTube, and we are going to get it. Miss Alicia, hello.
Hey, I'm Alicia, and I'm a grateful, recovering person.
Yes. Strong woman in recovery, beautiful mom in recovery, offering hope to all those other moms out there. Alicia just has such a beautiful story. And every time I talk to you, Alicia, it's like you grow more and more. Like every time that I talk to you, it's so amazing. Like to watch it like unfold and to watch God work through you, and just like your transformation, your glow up is just beautiful.
Thank you.
So, I kind of want to touch on, your recovery journey here. I know when you had your daughter is kind of when everything kind of you started your recovery journey, right?
Right. It was August 2014 when I first started a program, and I was pregnant, and it was life changing. It was like my brain was rewashed from all that garbage. So it was definitely strange, but it was a great way to go into recovering as being a pregnant woman. It really was.
So yeah, go into so your pathway was 12 steps.
Correct.
Awesome. So in that, so what, like you just one day, like what, walked into a meeting, or how did it happen?
Well, I was court ordered by a Gwinnett County judge. I had pending charges from 2013, and I just pled into Gwinnett County drug court, and it paid off.
So I didn't even know that you were in drug court. Okay.
Yeah, I was in drug court a little over 3 years.
Wow. I heard that that's a really tough program, but I heard that like I've interviewed several people who have gone through the drug court system and who have been successful in it, right, and really taken advantage of the resources, and right, they're just like thriving in their recovery today.
Right. So. Absolutely. It gave me the tools, it gave me the consistency, the structure. They were on me like white on rice, and I needed that. So starting my recovery for the first time ever in a situation like that, really, it did something. Granted, it wasn't perfect. I didn't stay sober after drug court. I still was able to get back in after relapse and, start over again. And it was like, okay, I know what to do. I know where to go. I know who to call.
Right. So it wasn't like your journey wasn't a perfect road, much like everybody else's, right?
Right.
But you went through drug court, but you never went into any kind of like sober living, halfway house, detox, none of that.
I did not. No, I never did a halfway house. But I did do a transitional center because I did not complete the Gwinnett County drug court program. I was kicked out for fraternizing. But I still learned a lot from that program. Right. So when I was sentenced to prison, 3 years after being in the program, I went into a transitional center at Alto State Prison, and I got to go home once a week.
Okay. And so
So
now,
that was
who had your daughter during that period?
her father's parents.
Okay. Okay. So you were there, your daughter stayed with the father's parents.
Correct.
And how was that? Like, how did that make you feel having to, like be away from your daughter?
I felt like a terrible parent for making one not so smart decision that cost me 15 months of time with my child. I lost a lot of confidence. It's been hard trying to remind myself that I am good enough. I am qualified for this role that God has placed me in. Yeah. So it's a lot of individual therapy. As soon as I got out of prison, I jumped into therapy. So that's been 3 years.
And that's how you work through it, because, I've been on this topic a lot of being a mom in recovery, being an addicted mother, being a mother who struggles with substance use disorder, alcoholism, trauma. I mean, and what you said is it's just so key, because it's like, the guilt of, am I going to be good enough? Am I going to be a good enough mother? Like, how can I be, give this child a life worthy of my expectations of what I want them to have. Right. And, with what I'm working with, right. With what's inside me, with the resources, right. Cause like, we don't have the resources. We want to give them everything, but being, I believe like a lot of the time you were kind of like a single mother, right?
Right. I mean, the first 3 years of my daughter's life, I didn't choose to be,
right.
But it was what it was, and it worked out great. I really was able to, with the Gwinnett County Drug Court, I was able to have that stability, to where when I did get out of prison, I fell off the wagon for 2 years, but I was able to jump right back on because I knew the results. That I'm a results driven individual. And I have to stay that way for the sake of myself and my family.
Right. Absolutely. And I love how you keep saying, like, that this journey was not perfect, but every time that, you hit a speed bump, you knew what the solution was. You knew how to get back on. You knew what you had to do, and you got into action and you did it. You didn't just stay in the guilt and the shame and hide your face in, in bottles of vodka and, like, I can't face it. I can't face it. I'm just going to stay messed up forever. You know what I mean? Because I feel like that's what guilt and shame does to us, right? It keeps us tied down. It keeps us like suffocated, and not able to pick our head up. And that is the worst thing. And that's what I see in moms who have struggled, with addiction, is just being able to pick their head up and say, I am a good mom, and what I did is not who I am.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, deep stuff. Deep stuff. It's tough, but I mean, I applaud you for ever changing, ever growing. Your spirituality, I know, is also very important to your journey and your walk, and you constantly grow in that. I know personally that you're a called woman of God, and there's no denying that, and I know that you know it too. So that's just been beautiful to watch as well. So let's talk a little bit about, wait, before we talk about what it's like now, let's talk about, Alicia, how do we meet? The burning question.
Okay, well, what had happened was
This was when, in what, like 2012,
2000,
13?
it was either the end of 2013, beginning of 2014. So it was like
Okay.
January or right before or after the holidays. So my daughter's father,
Mhm.
um, he had his own issues with addictions as well. And me and him were both actively in addiction before I became pregnant with our daughter. And I was working at the dog spa, Sandy Springs.
And you were
And
always like working when you had an addiction. That just blows my mind. Like, how did you go? I mean, it's cool because you worked with animals, right? So it's like, at least you didn't have to really talk to people. But
yeah, I
still,
mean, I
how,
started young. I
how did
started
you
young.
like get up and go to work? Like, that just blows my mind.
I knew I couldn't get money any other way. It was just, I couldn't sell my soul. I didn't have enough. I didn't have a car. I had
Right.
MARTA. Okay.
Right.
So my baby daddy picked he had been missing for a couple of days, MIA, and my mom was like, okay, you guys are over, that's fine, I'll pick you up from work. And I'm like, no, it's okay, I got a ride home from work. Well, I knew that he was coming and I hadn't gotten high in a couple of days. And I think, yeah, we were on meth, and all of a sudden he pulled up outside of my job and he was texting me. It's like, I've got someone in my car, someone is with me or something like that. And I'm like, what? I walk out, Jamie is in the front seat of my baby daddy's car. I'm like, who are you? He's been missing for 3 days. Oh gosh. And then we went and got a hotel room, and me and Jamie were in the hotel room, and I'm just like, okay, it had been maybe 8 months since because I didn't use needles. I had previously, but I hadn't gotten back on them. I had never done it myself. And I remember you putting on Christian music and we were in the hotel room and you were about to do a shot.
I was
And I was
Lord.
like, I looked at Audie, I said, there's a needle. We've got to go. And then the next day I found out I was pregnant.
Oh no. Wow.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
So
We left you in a hotel room.
wow. Did oh man.
You don't remember that at all?
But I think I had already met you before that. Like, didn't I come to your house before? Like, didn't you have like a apartment in Buford or a house in Buford? Were you like, no? Whose house was that? Whose house was that? Like, you went through a gate. Like, I swear I thought I went to your house. Wow.
Well, no, I don't remember, Jamie.
Where did you live?
I was living in Buckhead at the time.
Oh, I definitely didn't go to Buckhead.
I was living there with my mom.
Wow,
And we
that's so
got in a
crazy.
hotel room with Jimmy Carter in 85.
Wow.
La Quinta.
Okay. See, I feel like I kind of remember that, but I feel like we had already met. I thought we had already met. Yeah, because I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I remember the angel thing with sorry if I'm not, this person with blonde hair that was very.
Okay.
So I remember her, but I think that was I can't remember.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So maybe it was like, maybe I was with her or something. And I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know if I met you before or after. I don't know.
Yeah. Wow.
I have no idea, Jamie.
Wow. That's so crazy. I feel like I kind of remember like the hotel thing, but I thought for some reason that like I already like had met you before that. unless my brain is just like backwards. Who knows?
I
I was
can't
living,
remember.
yeah, because I was living, I told you like that was like a really bad time in my life when I was like
Right,
living in this like place in Loganville, and I was like,
right.
this whole trafficking situation going on. It was like it was just
Mhm.
nuts. And they just kept me like very drugged up. So who knows? I don't know what was going on half the time. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
I
yeah,
can't
that's so
remember.
crazy. Man. But I was
It's like
listening to
10 years
Christian
ago.
music. I know, right? But I
I
was
am.
listening to Christian music, praising
You were
God.
listening to Christian music, and I was like, we gotta leave.
Wow. Wow, that's crazy. Okay,
Oh.
okay. So, Alicia, tell us what life is like now.
Life today is still pretty crazy. But it's sobering. I'm not leaving work to stop at the liquor store before because my job is right next to the liquor store. And in order to leave my job, I have to pass it. Today I don't have to do that. Today I'm not obsessing and wanting that next drink.
Right.
You know, the desire is slowly lessening, you know. So when I have an issue or I have a problem, costs of living are going up, daycare expenses are going up, that makes me very stressed out. And today I can just kind of breathe and sit back and think it through, you know, instead of letting it ruin like a week. You know, I could let
Right.
something as cost of living going up ruin a week. And today it doesn't have to be like that.
So you also have another baby now.
Yes. Yeah. My Arby's baby. I was working at Arby's when I was pregnant with.
Okay.
Yes, with my husband.
So how old are your children now?
I have a 3-year-old and I have a 7-year-old.
Praise God. A
And
3-year-old and a 7-year-old.
yes, at
Wow.
home. And I have a 9-year-old floating out there somewhere that I did an open adoption for.
Okay. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah,
Well, some family is extraordinarily blessed by that, for sure.
they are. They
Yes.
really are.
So, being a mom and working and being a wife, I mean, and having to work a program, how do you take time out for yourself to do the things that you need to do? How do you take care of Alicia?
Well, bubble baths. In the morning, we have a routine. Usually he takes the kids to school in the morning and I'll pick them up from school. So that hour before I go to my 7 a.m. meeting, from 6 to 7, I have that time to just, get myself together and wake up and ask myself, what kind of day do I want to have? But it's just, I thought for so long that taking care of Alicia was going to buy a new pair of shoes. That took care of me, but that didn't feed my soul. It didn't make me happy. So
Yes.
I had to look up and Google like how to be kind to myself. I didn't know. How do I be kind? Okay, well, you get up, you take care of yourself, you look at yourself and say good things. You don't look at yourself and say, oh, your nose still looks big or anything like that.
Like, so what are good? So tell us like what good things you say to yourself. Cause I think everybody needs to hear this because we all need to learn how to practice this, like step by step, like really, what does this look like? What do we do? How do we do this, Alicia? Teach us.
Well, a lot of it, it's a cognitive, positive, cognitive or negative. It would be like something would come up in my head randomly. And I'm not sitting here thinking about, oh, I'm such a great person, or I'm not this. I would be like, oh, do you really think, Alicia, that you're going to be able to stop drinking? I flip it and I'm like, I will stop drinking. I am and I don't have my bracelet on me, but I would keep a bracelet on my right wrist. And when I would have that negative thought come up, I would move the bracelet and put it on my left wrist. And then I would say it out loud. I am going to recover.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
So how that stuff.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So let recap so everybody understands. Okay. So we wear a bracelet on our right wrist. Look, I had an ice skating accident. I'll tell you about that after. So we wear a bracelet on the one wrist, right? When a negative thought comes up, like, oh my God, Jamie, you look so fat in those jeans. Like, I take the bracelet and I put it on this wrist and I say, I look fire in these jeans. Is that
put it back on your right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, because my brain was so like naturally like beating myself up. You're not good enough. You're not worth it. And my therapist was just like, you got to get your power back, girl. Don't let your thoughts control you.
I love that. Get your power back. Don't let your thoughts control you. That is so important, Alicia. That is wisdom right there. I mean, that is straight wisdom, right? Because even in scripture, it says like, as a man thinks, so he is, right? You know what I mean? And you could even flip it in the context of your voice. You know what I mean? Like, oh, look at my booty. Like, oh, look at my booty.
Like, even the way you say it, you'd be like, yeah, I'm having a great day. Oh, I'm having a great day.
Yes, exactly. It's like how you say it. Yes. And it's like, as a man thinks, so he is. You have to take your power back in your words. The enemy wants nothing more than to keep us beat down under the covers, with that bottle in our hand, with that drug in our hand, so that we cannot stand up, you know what I mean? And be the confident, called women of God that we're supposed to be, right? That we truly are. It's almost like we forget our identity.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. We forget who we really are, what God wants us to be, and not what we want us to be.
Right. Right. And not what other people say.
Yeah. I wanted to be super mom. I wanted all my kids to wear Nike. I wanted to have the best of the best of the best, but then it gave me nothing. It was empty inside. So yeah, highly recommend sponsorship.
Yes. I mean, and it sounds like you've learned some amazing things, in your counseling. So 12-step was your pathway, but also it sounds like counseling has been your pathway, because you were telling me you've been doing some interesting kind of counseling techniques. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. Well, I'm just doing the individual right now. I was doing EMDR.
And tell us about that.
And it's just a psychotherapy where you're able to bring up past memories. You can't control what comes up. And you're able to like remove the trauma, because it's a trauma-based therapy. You're able to remove what you remember as that trauma and replace it with a better memory. Because the trauma is still going to be there. You're still going to have trauma, but it's how you view it,
Right. So, I mean, that's so powerful though, like replacing memories, because it makes me think about, so like me and Adam had like a lot of trauma around Christmas, right? Because like all the other Christmases before he and I got, together, was like his dad basically disappointing him. His dad is still in active addiction, so not showing up, disappointing him. Oh, sorry, I forgot to get you a Christmas present, or just not even showing up, right? And him just being like devastated. And so the last Christmas and this Christmas is like, he gets a little, he feels some way about it in here, around Christmas time. And I tell him like, baby, we're making new memories now. Like now we have like, we're going to do, we wear family pajamas, and him and Delilah wear these like elf onesies, and we do pictures and we make Christmas cookies, right? So we're replacing the memories with the new memories, right? I remember a couple weeks ago, even still today, when I go to Loganville, I get very ugh.
Oh yeah.
And I
Ugh.
get so like drawn, like it's like sick, Alicia. Like I want to go sit in that, I want to go drive in that neighborhood and go look, and I want to go get out and like walk around on the streets. Like, why do I
Guilty
want
of
to
it
do
too.
that? And it's
Right.
so sick. I mean, and so like last time I was driving through there and Adam was with me, you know what I mean? And I asked him, like, can we go drive down here? I just want to look, you know, like, and I made him like drive me down, and he knew, like, because he can like really, he's like very like in touch with me, where he can like feel my emotions. And he's like,
Yeah.
you are just like a wreck right now, you know? And so he's like, okay, we're going to make like a new memory, you know, we're going to go to this restaurant over here, and we're going to get something to eat, and we're going to have a good time. And you
Right.
know what I mean? And it's like, okay, so you know what I mean? Now when I drive through Loganville, it's like, I'm trying to, you know, the first memory is like, oh, when me and Adam went to that restaurant.
Right, exactly. Yes. And that was hard for me. I'm still, you know, in the area. I still have to drive like every road, like all the main roads in Gwinnett County.
Right.
It just is there. And I guess I've learned to like when I feel them, I would just push them down. Mm-hmm. But I'm starting to understand that it really is a trigger for me. And now what am I going to do to avoid that sick feeling of, let me go to this person's house and sit outside their house until they walk out the door because you stole my innocence. You know what I'm saying? And that's where it goes. And this is all normal for us. But being able to talk about it and relate to somebody about it is just like, what? We have courage to talk about this stuff.
Yes. And I believe that there, as we can talk about it, we can process it. Right. And it causes healing. You know what I mean? We're releasing it. Like you don't have control over me anymore. Like these, you know, like they say in our program, secrets make us sick, right? So we're not holding these secrets anymore. We're not stuffing them down anymore. We're releasing them, we're processing them, and they don't have control over us anymore.
Right. One thing that has helped me to kind of like put a mental image, it's like uncover, discover, and discard. You know, because when I'm in the middle of processing it, I just let it sit in there like a like was those compactors or whatever, like it just sits in there and it builds up, and it's like you got to take it out. You got to, you know, dispose of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
exactly.
So
exactly.
That's the hard part for me, is the disposition.
Right. Yeah, because like, and you kind of have to like go through it to get to the bottom, you know what I mean? Like really like going through it. And that's the hard part. And that's,
it hurts.
Yeah, that's the good, you know, the reason, you know, that, you know, I think your counseling is so effective. Your counselor must like really get in there deep. And then with the step work on top of it, I mean, it's like double digging, you know?
Right.
So awesome. That's amazing. So, what would you tell a young woman who is a single mom struggling, who is trying to, you know, take care of her babies, that, you know, as at a crossroads, whether they want to get sober or not? What would you say to them?
Not sure. I'm trying to think what would I want said to me. You know, multiple things like, you got to do this, you're better than this, you're stronger than this, you know, I don't know, I'm not sure, I've never been asked that question. Because I tend to be so harsh on myself, so me naturally viewing another woman, it's like I kind of want to be a little tough, and I have to understand everybody's sensitive in some kind of way. Mm-hmm. So I think what I would say is, you know, keep coming back, you know, call me, and then keep reaching out and keep checking in with the person, and, you know, and then the rest is in their hands, because I'm the kind of person I want to carry all their stuff, and I want to make it all better. And then I'm going crazy.
Right.
So.
So hard. It's so hard. it was so hard for me to be at that crossroad and to choose, even with a nudge from the judge, it's still hard. It's still a choice,
Yeah.
So, oh man. Well, thank you so much, Alicia, for your rigorous honesty. Thank you for sharing about processing trauma and man, just the vulnerability about, how we feel with being a mom. Being a mom in recovery is tough. It is so, so tough, but we are the strongest, boldest, most courageous women, women are just a beautiful, beautiful, unique creature. Moms, there's just so much to us. So many, we're like so multifaceted, you know what I mean?
Right.
Strongest people in the world. I do believe that. So everybody, thank you so much, Alicia, and make sure you subscribe to Jamie Tall on YouTube, and we will see you next time on Recovery Inspired Hope.